The Young and the Restless, YNR, spoilers for Wednesday, November 5th, reveal that Nick Newman, Joshua Morrow, and Matt Clark aka Mitch Bacall, Roger Howarth, will have a fierce face-off. Sienna Bacall, Tamara Braun will also focus on a police cover-up. So let's talk about all the action coming up in Wednesday's show. Despite Sharon Newman's Sharon case, phone call with updates on Noah Newman's Lucas Adams coma awakening, Nick may not be able to pass up his opportunity to confront Matt. Perhaps Nick will simply promise Sharon that he'll be there as soon as he can and head into the shadow room first. Sienna will be busy trying to keep the cops off her trail in Wednesday's show, so that may allow Nick to corner Mitch alone. Whatever the case, YNR spoilers say Sienna will indeed concentrate on a police cover-up. It's clear that Sienna wants to avoid any scrutiny when it comes to her connection to Noah, so she'll work to protect herself and the nightclub. In the meantime, Nick will face off with his worst foe of all time. Although Nick trusts Sharon's judgment on this, he'll be even more convinced that Mitch is Matt when he sees the guy for himself. Matt may play more mind games and try to act like Nick's got it all wrong, but Nick will feel certain he's staring at his old nemesis. There'll be some incredibly tense moments as Nick barks out questions and delivers some major threats. At the hospital, Victoria Newman, Amelie Heinley, will mull over Noah's crash and worry about how suspicious it all seems. This could lead to Victoria pumping Sharon for more info, so will Sharon admit Matt Clark is alive and maybe linked to what happened? Regardless, Nick will ultimately head to the hospital and join Sharon by Noah's bedside. Once Nick reunites with Noah, he'll express how glad he is to see his son awake and alert. The Young and the Restless spoilers say the doctor will eventually announce it's time for Noah's bandages to come off, so more good news is ahead for Sharon and Nick. The Young and the Restless, YNR, spoilers hint that Claire Newman, Haley Aaron may end up pregnant by Holden Novak, Nathan Owens. Will Holden and Claire's Los Angeles passion lead to some baby drama back in Genoa City? Following Claire and Holden's sizzling hotel encounter in the October 31st episode, she could find herself with a bun in the oven. It only takes one time to make a baby, especially on soaps where women tend to be remarkably fertile for the sake of unplanned pregnancy storylines. There's no guarantee that Claire and Holden use protection. Even if they did, it's not 100% effective and certainly wouldn't rule out the possibility of a soapy baby twist. Back in September, Claire herself may have hinted about a surprise pregnancy being in her future. YNR fans may recall that Claire flipped out over Kyle Abbott's, Michael Mueller, marriage proposal and wondered if he'd suggest having a baby next. Kyle cracked a not yet joke, but the baby mention in general felt like a potential clue. Perhaps Kyle will wind up heartbroken when Claire gets pregnant by Holden instead of him. Kyle has been working hard to steer Claire away from Holden and get his own relationship with her on track again. However, Kyle's pushiness backfired since it ultimately shoved Claire right into bed with Holden. Victoria Newman, Amelia Heinley, has also been concerned about Claire doing something impulsive she might regret. Claire could indeed regret surrendering to Holden temptation if she gets pregnant and has a permanent tie to him. It's one thing for Claire to be attracted to Holden and enjoy spending time with him. It's quite another to imagine this forever connection and have faith in Holden to be a good father. Once Claire gets updates on whatever horrible secrets Holden and Audra Charles, Zuleika Silver, are hiding, that could make her realize Kyle was right to worry and try to protect her. Unfortunately, that realization may come too late if Claire is already pregnant with Holden's baby when his shady news blows up. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Claire's life could get turned upside down one way or another, so stay tuned. The Young and the Restless, YNR, spoilers hint that Kyle Abbott, Michael Mueller, will ask if Claire Newman, Haley Aaron, and Holden Novak, Nathan Owens, went to bed together. Kyle will demand the truth about Holden and Claire's LA bonding, so will Claire spill the real story? Kyle already knows that Holden was showing Claire all the top sights of Los Angeles, so he wasn't happy about that. Since Kyle doesn't trust Holden at all, he's concerned about all the time Claire's been spending with him. Now that Kyle is back in Genoa City, he's even more worried than before. Kyle can't keep an eye on Claire this far away from LA, so his mind is no doubt wandering to some pretty terrible places. Of course, Claire is entitled to do whatever she wants now that she's a single woman. It's really none of Kyle's business what Claire is up to since she broke things off before her trip with Holden. Nevertheless, Kyle is both jealous and uneasy about Claire hanging out with a troublemaker who could break her heart. That's why Kyle's on the verge of confronting Claire so he can get some Holden-related answers. On November 7th, YNR spoilers say Kyle will corner Claire and push for the truth about what happened in LA. It sounds like Kyle will specifically ask about Holden and the nature of Claire's relationship with him. Claire was just friends with Holden when they left for Los Angeles, but Kyle may sense that they're more than that now. Kyle might flat out ask Claire if she went to bed with Holden, but she may dance around the issue at first. It's easy to imagine Claire pointing out that she doesn't have to answer that question since Kyle doesn't get a say in who she lets passion erupt with. Even so, Kyle might keep pushing until Claire finally blurts out some big news. Perhaps Claire will confess to sizzling in that hotel room with Holden and leave Kyle reeling. Kyle will likely suspect that Holden took advantage of Claire somehow, but she may defend him as a gentleman and argue she did exactly what she wanted that night. The Young and the Restless spoilers suggest Claire's updates could leave Kyle both furious and heartbroken, so stay tuned. The Young and the Restless. YNR, spoilers update for Tuesday, November 4th, reveals that Claire Newman, Haley Aaron, will spark some panic while Holden Novak, Nathan Owens, hides Audra Charles's Zuleika Silver, LA arrival. For starters, Claire's ability to make good decisions will be called into question. Nikki Newman, Melody Thomas Scott, will grow deeply troubled over Claire's link to Holden and the risky moves she's making in Los Angeles. Claire ran away from all her Kyle Abbott, Michael Mueller problems and has been having a blast with Holden, but she's still suffering from a torn heart deep down. Nikki may fear that Claire will take things too far with Holden and find herself unable to get back on track with Kyle. Claire already enjoyed a bedroom romp with Holden, so Nikki may put the puzzle pieces together on that. Whether Nikki voices her concerns to Claire, Victoria Newman, Amelia Heinley, or both, she'll indeed fret over her granddaughter. While Claire's actions spark some panic for Nikki, great news is ahead for Nick Newman, Joshua Morrow, and Sharon Newman, Sharon Case. Sharon and Nick will take a timeout on tackling the latest Matt Clark aka Mitch Bacall, Roger Howarth, mystery since Noah Newman Lucas Adams is about to awaken. Lucas Adams will finally make his first appearance in the role, so it'll be interesting to see his spin on Noah as he settles in. Noah will still have his bandages on at first, but those will be removed before long. YNR spoilers say Noah will be disoriented when he emerges from his coma, but Nick, Sharon, and his doctors will be there to help him make sense of his current situation. Next, Audra will arrive in Los Angeles and cross paths with Holden, but he'll apparently keep quiet about her showing up in town. Of course, Holden will continue to keep Audra's past secrets quiet as well. That'll be partly about protecting Audra, and partly about protecting himself since Holden helped clean up her mess years ago. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Audra will eventually stir up some trouble at the Shadow Room, so stay tuned for updates on all the twists and turns. The Young and the Restless. YNR, spoilers for the next 3 weeks, November 3rd to November 21st, reveal that fans will see Matt Clark aka Mitch Bacall's, Roger Howarth, twisted behavior. Sharon Newman, Sharon Case, will also end up in danger before some wedding day drama threatens to erupt. The week of November 3rd to 7th will bring Matt's attempt to convince Sharon that he's really Mitch and not her old foe. Sharon won't believe that at all and will get Nick Newman, Joshua Morrow, on her side when it comes to buying that Matt has really returned. Nick will ultimately back Matt into a corner, so he'll also know instantly this is the same man who caused so much pain in the past. Although Matt has been living a new life as Mitch for many years, he won't be able to outrun his mistakes and crimes. Nick's going to put Matt on full blast in a major showdown soon enough. We should also talk about Lucas Adams' debut as a Noah Newman recast since Noah will emerge from his coma and get his bandages taken off. Sharon and Nick will quiz Noah, so they'll try to piece together what happened to him and how he got entangled in Matt's web. Victoria Newman, Amelia Heinley, will also get updates on some of the Noah details and try to make sense of the car crash he landed in. As for Sienna Bacall, Tamara Braun, she'll try to bury anything that might be incriminating. Sienna may not feel like she's getting the full story from Mitch aka Matt, but she'll do her part to keep them both out of trouble with the cops. Audra Charles, Zuleika Silver, will also head to Los Angeles and shake things up, but Holden Novak, Nathan Owens, may not be happy about that or the fact that he'll have to keep more secrets for her. As for Claire Newman, Haley Aaron, and Kyle Abbott, Michael Mueller, a big fight is brewing. Kyle will push for answers about what happened between Claire and Holden in LA, so he may lash out if she admits they sizzled in her hotel room. During the week of November 10th to 14th, Kyle will no doubt become even more determined to prove to Claire that Holden is bad news. We'll see Kyle work harder to uncover whatever criminal activity Holden and Audra buried. Victor Newman, Eric Braden, will also heat up his rivalry with the Abbotts thanks to the bold moves he's set to make. That AI program is the real deal and could wreak havoc, so Victor will hold great power. The week of November 17th to 21st will also bring some of Matt's twisted behavior, so Nick will have good reasons to believe danger is ahead for Sharon. You can bet Nick will be extra vigilant about protecting Sharon, but it may be hard to predict Matt's upcoming moves. Next, things could get more complicated between Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford, and Kane Ashby, Billy Flynn. Although Kane suspects Phyllis betrayed him, he can't deny that he finds her fascinating. Phyllis is also drawn to Kane's edgy side, so sparks could fly eventually. Of course, it's possible Kane will use their connection to manipulate Phyllis, so that's worth keeping in mind. Regardless, Phyllis is supposed to get a surprising new love interest soon according to YNR spoilers. Kane still feels like the most likely option considering all their banter and innuendo lately. Since Christine Blair, Laura Lee Bell, and Danny Romalotti's Michael Damian wedding will begin on November 21st, there could be some drama on the big day. Phyllis has tried to make peace with Danny's impending marriage, but she may not be able to resist stirring the pot a bit more. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Danny and Christine may have some last-minute surprises ahead of their nuptials, so don't miss all the excitement. The Young and the Restless, YNR, recap for Tuesday, November 4th, reveals that Noah Newman, Lucas Adams, will struggle with some memory issues while Claire Newman, Haley Aaron meets Mitch Bacall aka Matt Clark, Roger Howarth, and gets bad vibes. At their hotel, Nick Newman, Joshua Morrow, will stop by Sharon Newman's Sharon Case room with a scone, so they'll discuss how they didn't get much sleep due to Matt's return and their concerns about Noah. Sharon will plan on heading back to the hospital, but Nick will want to join her there a bit later. In the meantime, Nick will hope to ambush Matt at the shadow room and try to get some answers. At the hotel cafe, Claire will have sunglasses on due to her hangover as she eats breakfast with Victoria Newman, Amelia Heinley, and Nikki Newman, Melody Thomas Scott. Nikki will seem a little uncomfortable over Claire's drinking before talk turns to Claire's decision to head home to Genoa City. Once Holden Novak, Nathan Owens, overhears that info, he'll speak with Claire privately. Claire will assure Holden that she enjoyed their time together, including what happened between them last night, but she'll be ready to go home and figure out what normal looks like. Holden will wonder where he fits in Claire's life now, but she won't be able to give him a firm answer on that yet. Since Claire's flight will be in a few hours, she'll have 2 requests before she goes. Claire will want to see the mountains one more time and stop by the shadow room so she can thank Sienna Bacall, Tamara Braun for her hospitality. Holden will realize this is really about digging for the truth about his past with Audra, but he'll agree to take Claire there anyway. After Holden and Claire snap some pics with the mountain backdrop, they'll indeed head to the nightclub. Before they go inside, Holden will manage to talk Claire out of pumping Sienna for information related to his history with Audra. As for Mitch, he'll find Sienna at the shadow room and once again deny that he's this Matt person. Mitch will act like Nick must just be an upset father who's desperate for answers and making things up. Mitch will also admit he missed Sienna last night since she didn't come home, but she'll make excuses. Claire and Holden will later approach Sienna alone, so that'll give Claire a chance to say goodbye and extend her gratitude. Mitch will eventually pop up and meet Claire, so he'll suggest that Sienna told him that she was Noah's cousin. After Mitch talks about meeting Noah in London and offering to invest in his new LA club, there'll be some talk about the accident. Sienna will mention the speculation that it may not have been an accident at all, so Mitch won't be pleased over her highlighting that to Claire. As for Audra Charles, Zuleika Silver, Holden will insist she's ancient history, but he'll acknowledge that he still runs into her since they both live in Genoa City now. Sienna will assume Claire wants Audra dirt like Kyle Abbott, Michael Mueller, did, but she'll turn Sienna down. Once Claire and Holden head outside, she'll talk about the tension she felt when Mitch walked in the room. Claire will discuss Mitch's unsettling vibe and seem a little weirded out. Claire will also reflect on all the secrets and lies that other people have told her. If Holden wants to have a real friendship, Claire will need him to be honest about what happened with Audra. Nick will pop up at one point and claim that he needs to see Mitch about Noah's crash, so Holden and Claire will confirm he's inside. Claire will wonder if she's missing something since Sharon was at the shadow room last night too, but Nick will downplay any drama. Back inside, Mitch will insist Sienna shouldn't have told Claire that it wasn't an accident, but she'll argue that Claire knew already. Since Sienna will seem so on edge over the Noah situation, Mitch will wonder why, since it's not like she really even knew Noah. Based on Sienna's expression, it'll be obvious that she's holding back. At the hospital, Sharon will read to Noah until he moves his hand multiple times. Noah will finally wake up enough to call Sharon Mom, so she'll be over the moon about him coming out of his coma. The doctor will offer some positive medical updates and confirm that Noah's on the right track. Sharon will give Nikki and Victoria the good news once they arrive, so they'll also sit down with Noah. Although Noah will remember his loved ones and who he is, he'll draw a blank when it comes to the crash. Since Noah won't recall what happened to him, he'll push Victoria and Nikki to explain how he ended up there. Meanwhile, Sharon will finally get in touch with Nick and summon him to the hospital right away now that Noah's awake. The Young and the Restless spoilers say there's much more drama to come for Nick and Sharon, so stay tuned. The Young and the Restless, YNR, spoilers recap for Thursday, June 13th, reveals that Summer Newman, Allison Lanier, will distract Chance Chancellor, Connor Floyd, from his own work drama by admitting things went well with Sally Spectra's, Courtney Hope, transition. When talk turns to Claire Grace, Haley Aaron, Summer will confess to feeling like an outsider and will worry about getting replaced in the mom role. Since Summer and Kyle Abbott, Michael Mueller, never really discussed custody boundaries regarding Harrison Abbott, Redding Munsell, she'll think maybe it's time to change that. Meanwhile, Claire will be downright giddy as Cole Howard, J. Eddie Peck, arrives to pick Victoria Newman, Amelia Heinley, up for their date. Once Victoria and Cole take off, Claire will call Tessa Porter, Kate Fairbanks, at Society to ask for a favor. Claire will request a quiet table for her parents along with a bottle of champagne, so Tessa will realize she's trying to help by matchmaking a bit. Since Tessa will be stuck covering for someone at work, Mariah Copeland, Cameron Grimes, will hang out with her at the restaurant instead of going on their planned date. That'll give Mariah a chance to hear about Claire seemingly playing Cupid, so she'll worry that maybe it's not what Victoria and Cole want. Mariah will think Claire could use someone to relate to in her own age range, so she'll decide to keep Claire company with some takeout and margaritas. At the Tack House, Kyle will show up with Claire's missing wallet since Harrison insisted he should bring it back to her tonight. Claire will thank Kyle and invite him to have a cup of tea with her, so they'll talk about the mystery book she's reading. That'll lead to Claire's admission about Jordan, Colleen Zank, training her to figure out crimes and where criminals went wrong. As a result, Claire got good at figuring out the whodunits she read. When Mariah arrives, she'll worry she's interrupting something, but Kyle will insist he needs to get back to Harrison. Once Kyle's outside, he'll get a text that says Summer wants to talk to him about something, so he'll suggest they can meet in the morning. Back with Mariah, she'll give Claire updates on how she was kidnapped as a baby, raised in a cult, and didn't find her real mother until she was in her 20s. Claire will realize they have a lot in common and will enjoy talking to someone who really understands. Afterward, Mariah will reconvene with Tessa and let her know that she bonded with Claire quickly due to their childhood trauma. Tessa will also find out that Kyle was with Claire when Mariah first showed up, so she'll be intrigued over that news. Once Cole and Victoria have a lovely time on their dinner date, she'll invite him to stay for a drink at the Tack House. Cole will give Victoria a kiss, but he'll decline to stay since he'll want her to be sure she's ready, though he'll hope she's ready soon. After Cole leaves on Thursday's YNR episode, Claire will appear at the top of the stairs, looking hopeful. At his suite in Paris, Tucker McCall, Trevor St. John, will tell Audra Charles, Zuleika Silver about Alan Lawrence, Christopher Cousins, twin, and explain how Martin Laurent, Christopher Cousins, was who Ashley Abbott, Eileen Davidson, really needed protection from. After Tucker admits Ashley was diagnosed with dissociative identity disorder, he'll point out that Ashley somehow confused her Martin ordeal with their fight at the bistro. That led to Ashley's alters going after Tucker by mistake, but he'll point out that Ashley's headed to a clinic for treatment now. Tucker will think this means he can finally put Ashley behind him, but Audra will feel like he's fooling himself. Nevertheless, Tucker will be adamant that Audra is the woman he wants, and he'll make a bold move to prove it. After Tucker agrees to give up Glissade, he'll announce that he's going to surrender his CEO's spot and his seat on the board. Although Tucker will hope they can find their way back to each other, he'll make it clear that he's giving Audra control of the company regardless. Audra will insist she doesn't need a handout and will ultimately reveal that she convinced the board to accept a buyout offer from an anonymous investor. After Audra warns that Tucker will be outnumbered in the vote, she'll vow to take control of Glissade and will hope this loss hurts like hell. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Audra could face some surprising challenges despite her belief that she's won, so stick with us for more predictions on her strategy. The Young and the Restless, YNR, spoilers update for Monday, February 26th, reveals that Tracy Abbott, Beth Maitland, will tell Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman, about Ashley Abbott's, Eileen Davidson, sudden reversal on the cafe confrontation, which she now realizes she was wrong about. Jack will worry when he finds out Ashley apologized to Tucker McCall, Trevor St. John, and seems like she might want him back. However, Ashley will appear and act like her siblings are being overprotective. Although Ashley will hint about the Abbott family anger she'd face if she got back together with Tucker, she'll try to sidestep questions about that possible reunion. At Chancellor Winters, Esther Valentine, Kate Linder, will catch Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson, and Devin Hamilton Winters, Brighton James, arguing, so she'll urge them to consider what their fathers would think about all this feuding. Although Billy and Devin will find a path to peace briefly, there'll be more trouble after Chancellor, Connor Floyd, pitches his music festival idea. Devin will want to give it the green light right away, but Billy will think they need to slow down and put more work into it. Chance will seem bummed over Billy's lack of support, but Nate